not dirty.
Your hands are dirty.
No, they're not.
Where your hands been? They scratch your butt. For all
Yeah, it has been.
Nasty. Ew. Davis Clan, we back with part 2. Dos.
Bruh, can I have my own thing?
What, you did it too?
I said dos.
Oh.
Whatever. Where this is part 2
Part
of our
2.
little mini series. So this one is going to be about how to be supportive emotionally.
Emotions,
Yeah.
baby.
I feel like being supportive emotionally is like one of the hardest things for humans to do.
For me, it is.
Cause like humans
I don't got
can be
feelings.
very, very selfish sometimes.
That's true. I think I agree with that. Showing up emotionally, for me personally, I'll talk for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me to show up because if I don't care and you don't tell me enough to make me care, it's like I know I should care, but do I care?
That's your constant battle.
It's
It irritates me so freaking bad.
I'm like,
Because I could be bawling my eyes out, y'all, and he'll just be sitting there like,
you want a hug?
"You good?" I'm just like,
I'm like, what you want me to say?
I'm like,
Because it depends on why you crying. Like,
no, because he likes to be like, okay, so 2 + 2 is 4, and then 4 × 2 is 8, but also 4 + 4 is 8, so it makes sense of why the outcome came out. So why are you sad? I'm like, bro.
you saw this coming. Like,
He gets on my nerves so bad. And this is literally him sometimes. It's not funny. And it's so irritating, and it makes me cry more because it's like,
it does. And then I start laughing because it's like, yo, why are we crying again? Like,
oh my
like,
God. But then, like, maturing, I started to understand who I married and who my partner is. And it's like, if I don't communicate to him how deeply I am connected to something or a person, or how much I cared for something, he's not going to understand why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting. So if there's no communication about it, he's just going to be like, okay.
I can't think of an example, like, of why you would cry. Like, recently it's been a lot going on, but still, other than recent stuff, it's like...
No, recently you've been supportive, but...
Because I understood that.
Yeah, so if it's like... For example, like movies, like if it have like a little twist, the turn, and make me cry, it's just like throughout the movie, you get connected to that character.
That's fair.
So when something happens to that character and I start crying, that doesn't mean you sit there and you laugh because you know how bad that character meant to me.
What is a movie? They really did, you know.
Or a series.
Or a series is crazy, first off. That's crazy.
The Unit.
Now, Unit's the OG, very close to my heart, so that's a bad example. Because I've seen it at least 4 times.
Whatever.
So, shout out to you, mama. But still, it's like, I get it, but I don't get it. Granted, you do have to show up emotionally, which is something personally I'm working on. Mm-hmm. But to your point that you were talking about, communication is what helps me understand how to show up emotionally. Because sometimes... you know, you may want a hug, or sometimes you may want your space. Me personally, if it's something like legit, like really going on, and either I can't cry or I am crying, like if I do get to a point where I'm crying, it's either because I'm really frustrated or I'm really like hurt by something.
Yeah.
So it's like at that point, then like a hug is okay, or like that kind of comfort, I guess you could say. But if it's like, bro, something going on, like I'm emotional to where I just want to be distant, or I need time away to figure it out, that's why I'm distant.
Yeah.
So it's like me trying to understand that from you, it's just like, bro, what you crying for? Because you are very emotional.
Okay, but me trying to understand that from you, it's like
it's not
opposite ends.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it is completely
why do you
different.
not understand that I feel this way?
I'm like, bro.
And then I'm like, why aren't you showing any emotion? Does it's not like...
Because I'm a thug. What you
But then it's like...
yo, it's different.
Just like you were saying, if you're crying... you're either
I'm past that point. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shoot, like this is the real deal, babe. Come here.
Yeah.
It's okay, babe. It's okay.
Because if she made me cry, that's how she knows. She's like, oh,
yeah.
What did I
I
do?
only made you cry, like frustrated, mad, like what, twice?
Maybe twice.
Twice.
Because really, I don't get to that point because you know it's just life done life to the point where I'm like, okay, it's what either I can deal with it, I can think my way out of a situation, or it's like it's kind of out of my hands. It is what it is. How do we move forward?
And that's just knowing like who you're with. Like, excuse me. Like, I keep saying like, but when we are younger, not saying we're older now, but back in college, like,
Oh boy.
I would test him a lot. Like,
Oh,
and I wouldn't
purpose.
even know sometimes. Most of the time, I'd be like, dude, like, it's not that serious. I would always say, it's so small. Why are you getting mad about it?
She would try to downplay things like it really wasn't important, even though it would be important to me. And she knew it was important to me, but it wasn't that big to her.
Yeah.
And to your point, you don't do it as much anymore.
Yeah, I gotten a lot better with it because I understand that, like you say, small things can turn into big things. So
For sure.
rather
They
take care of
snowball.
it. Yeah, rather take care of it when it's small before it escalates or it get bigger.
100%.
But that comes with maturing in our relationship and understanding you emotionally. And then I know I'm like an emotional wreck right now, but I like how you're still trying to be supportive and making sure that I'm okay. And I hope I'm doing the same thing for you because I know you have some emotions with what's been going on. So just when your partner needs you, it's very, very important to make sure you're there 100%. Like, even when things are happening or going on and you see your partner trying to be there and comfort you, don't push them away because pushing them away is only going to confuse them or push them into not wanting to be there and support you anymore. Because it's like, okay, I'm putting my hands up because it seems like whatever I'm doing is just making it worse.
Yep.
So you don't want to make your partner feel that way.
Yep.
Even if sometimes it has nothing to do with your partner, but your partner knows that, something happened to you and your mood and your emotions are, everywhere. Let them be that support system for you because at the end of the day, you can't handle all those emotions by yourself. You need someone to confide in or someone to comfort you.
I mean, people in general, humans are social creatures. As much as we try to tell ourselves we want to be alone, we need to be alone, we want to be isolated, like we're not. Like you said, we're meant to share amongst each other, whether stories, ideas, education, whatever the case may be, especially emotions. And like you said, showing up means when your partner is down or feeling some kind of way, like you're there trying to support and comfort and as much as you can without like overwhelming the other person. Like that's huge. But at the end of the day, like just be there and try to feel for the other person, feel for your partner. But at the end of the day, after that situation is over with, like saying I'm the one that's emotional, you come and try to comfort me. In the moment, I may not want it. But again, like I said, don't push the person away. But after the situation is over with, there's nothing wrong with having a conversation like, hey, babe, when I was crying or whatever, and you came and like hugged me, I really appreciate that. I really like that. Or opposite, I really didn't like that. Or I really, when I am like that, just give me some space. Like you can rub me on the back and hit me with a pat. Or give me a kiss, give me a hug, do whatever. Or whatever, y'all can talk about. Like that's perfectly fine to talk about what that intimate moment was. And that's what I think a lot of people gloss over and not have the understanding of, okay, when this happens, I prefer this. But it's all fairness, when the situation may happen again, it may be a whole completely different need being there.
Yeah,
like last time, you got to be okay with that adaptability and it's really not even criticism. It's just, hey, after the situation happened, this is what I needed. This is what happened. And I'm okay with this or I'm not okay with this. And that doesn't mean we take it to heart. That's just like, okay, cool. It's to help understand, okay, when something similar happens, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. At least you have more data to go off of. So that communication goes hand in hand with showing up, emotionally.
Yeah, and it's not always like the sad part. Like even when something exciting happened or happy, you still want to communicate to your person how you want them to be in the happiness with you. Like if I'm jumping and smiling and being all excited, hey, like be excited, be happy.
I'm coming in the room. What up? What we celebrating?
Yeah, don't be like, what you all happy for?
Like, why are you happy? Like, what happened? Like, nah, don't be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, it's okay to ask though, like, but be happy about it. Like, okay, what you happy about? Instead of, dude, like, chill out. What you happy for?
Yeah.
So it's like, it just depends on the situation. There's nothing wrong with sitting down and having that communication during, like, if the event is still happening, or even doing a checkup. Like, going back probably 30 minutes after the situation, or an hour, whenever that person is comfortable. Don't let it be too long, because that's my mistake. Sometimes I let it go on till the next day before trying to go back to it, but it's growth in that aspect. Growth.
Baby steps.
Yeah. But yeah, it just depends on your partner. Like, if your partner is a really emotional person, you have to sit down and understand why things like trigger that person so much, so often, so heavily, so that you can understand. That way you're not left in the dust. And then if your partner doesn't show much emotion, maybe it's because there's some trauma that you need to break down or get into nitty-gritty about. Especially if you want them to like communicate if they're happy, sad, excited, scared, and all that stuff. It just boils down to communication.
Communication, emotions, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about it, figure it out, sit down, throw in a pot of coffee, some tea or whatever, and just talk about whatever recent events is going on. How they make you feel? You know, that's how it made me feel. Seeing you act this way, seeing you and your feelings made me feel this way, and that's why I reacted this way. Like, you gotta understand each other and create like that vulnerable space to just talk it out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
And make sure you guys comprehend too, because you can communicate and your partner not understand.
And you don't have to agree all the time.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, do you understand? Like, are you understanding why I felt this way? Like, can you repeat back to me, but not verbatim, but just tell me what I told you so that I know that you understand where I was coming from, and vice versa. Because sometimes you could be sitting there and having a conversation, and by the end of the conversation, it's just like, what did we talk about?
And that's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the exact term for it, but like, that's real. We sit here and have this whole conversation. You're like, I know we talked about a lot, but what did I take away from it?
Yeah.
So again, that conclusion portion of the whole conversation is huge, especially to understand another person's emotions, because emotions are so complex and they vary person to person, situation to situation. So if you really want to support your partner, you gotta talk about it. But of course, you gotta do what? Show up.
Oh, I was about to say pray.
Shoot, that too. I mean, hey, gotta pray too. But hopefully y'all like this one. Make sure y'all like and comment. Maybe there might be a part 3.
You have to stay tuned.
Y'all better show this one some love, and then we'll talk about it. Hey, catch you on the next one.
Bye.